So I think these clouds over here, that might be as much of a sunset as we're gonna get, but we'll keep heading up anyway before we pick up the main track. So we're at the top of the Tor now, and just gonna stop and admire the view before heading back down the other side to head towards that path. I'm now stood at the top of Leiden Tor, which is very close to the road towards Princetown. There isn't a huge amount of a view, but it still feels pretty vast. There might not be much snow, but I've just seen this really cool piece of ice. That's huge! There's some really cool rocks around here. I normally come mountain biking this way rather than walking, so I don't really tend to notice too much because you're just concentrating and stick to the main path. But it's really nice to be on foot and explore a little bit. So here we are, I'm on the old railway track from Princetown, and the snow is slowly melting away on it. I can see that it's probably not going to be here for too much longer, but it's still nice to see it. It's definitely getting a bit darker now. I can see the camera is struggling, so I might have to swap to my smartphone in a minute. Unfortunately, the only drawback to using the iPhone is that it doesn't have image stabilization on, so I'm aware that I'm wobbling about all over the place as I'm walking, but it does do the camera much better in the dark, and unfortunately you get a lot more wind noise on the iPhone, so I'll try and keep it to talking in more sheltered spots. Light's reduced quite a lot now, so you can't really see too much. Apart from, well, I can see really well, but the camera really can't see too well. So I'm going to crack on and keep going, because it's the wind in my face and the direction that I'm going in, so it's a bit cold. But when I turn around, it's absolutely fine. So I'm just going to make headway now. So we've been walking for a little while, still on the tramway, and we're coming around now towards Foggingtor, so we're going to keep an eye out and see if we can find a decent place to set up camp tonight. So I've been walking along and it's been really nice looking at the stars, and occasionally just walking by the moonlight and the starlight and turning the head torch off. I've just reached Foggingtor Quarry, which is where I'm hoping to camp, so I'm just going to have a look now and see if I can find a good spot. So this is Foggingtor Quarry, which is where we are. Thankfully, I know the route in and out of the quarry, which is the easiest one. So I'm just going to follow it round and see if I can find a camp spot. I've found a load of sheep in their nighttime resting spot. Let's move on and not disturb them too much. Found a good sheltered spot which is out of the wind, and it's just started snowing, so I'm going to get the tent up so that me and Tumble can get inside as quickly as possible, because it's snowing a bit more than what I thought it was going to. So the tent's up. So I'm gonna get all my stuff in and then we'll get nice and settled, get Tumble nice and warm and dry, get her jammies on and make some food. So we've got the tent up now and we found a good sheltered spot out of the wind. So it's actually nice and calm in here. Tumble's just been getting settled. She's now got her pyjamas on. And most importantly, I've had enough signal to complete today's Duolingo lesson. So I'm on day 90 of learning Spanish. So I'm really, really pleased that I've actually managed to do that and keep my streak going. So I'm going to put some food on. Tonight I've got one of my leftover fire pot meals, so it should be quite a nice one. I think it's like barbecued pulled pork or something. Food's ready. Let's give it a try. That pulled pork is pulled pork and rice with loads of onion in it. Seriously nice. That's good, that is. We've just woken up and been for our pre-actual proper sleep time pee. I fell asleep reading. I've been reading this, The Lido by Libby Page, and it's just a really nice story about an older lady and a younger lady who meet, and the older lady has swam at this Lido for all of her life and they're like threatening to close the Lido and make it private, and then the young lady is a journalist, but she's like, I'm not going to talk to you until you swam in the Lido. And then of course they bond over the swimming and everything else, and it's just a very sweet story. Morning! We have just waking up to the alarm which I've set so we can go and hopefully see a sunrise. I'm not sure if it's cloudy or if it's just grey. I don't know which one it is. It was really quite cold last night when I got out the sleeping bag to go for a pee. It must have been, well, it said it was -3 and it did feel like it when I got out the sleeping bag. But my sleeping bag's great and we were so snuggly and warm. And Tumble actually got right down into it, so we were both very cosy. And I've woken up and it's really calm and still. It's beautiful. So let's go have a little look, and we're going to go out the quarry, just see if we can see the sunrise. We've just come out the quarry, and while you really can't beat this as your first view for the morning when you wake up. Well, we've already seen our first people who've come out and they've got camera equipment, so I'm assuming they're attempting to get a sunrise shot as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over up to one of the tors, and then hopefully that will give us a bit of a higher point. And the tor's really not that far away, it's only there, just ahead of us. So we're perched near to King's Tor up on a mound, and we're just waiting to see if we are going to get a sunrise today. Obviously there will be a sunrise, but if we can actually see anything. So unfortunately there was no sort of noticeable sunrise to write home about, but it's really nice just to sit here and enjoy the peace and the view. . 'Cause 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 ' down. But this is the quarry that we arrived at last night, but we couldn't really see. I found a nice flat spot just across from my tent where I'm just going to make some coffee and porridge before we pack up and get ready to head back. I'm all packed up and ready to go, so I'm going to say what I always do. It's really important when wild camping, doesn't matter where you are, make sure to leave no trace. Right, let's head out of this quarry. This walk back to the van is gorgeous. Look at this. It's so nice. It's a really nice, bright, clear day. We've seen so many cute ponies on the way back. They're really adorable. I'm now back on Leiden Tour, which is my final stop before I drop down to the van. So I'm going to sign out now. I hope you enjoyed coming along. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Even better, a comment would be amazing. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do, because it really helps. Thanks very much. Bye.